this is Sadie with Rose and Roses. You know, I started thinking this morning, I have been in business mostly online for almost 10 years. And a lot of people know who I am. A lot of people online know who I am. A lot of people on Facebook. But maybe not a whole lot of local people know who I am. Maybe I'm just that weird chick that started up a yarn shop and like nobody's ever heard of me. I know that some of you have ordered commission work from me before, and I know that some of you have taken my classes before, like Learn to Crochet up at Oconee Heritage Center. But I kind of just wanted to jump on here and I guess just introduce myself, just kind of let y'all know who I am and where I'm coming from. I'm Sadie. I'm 37. I'll be 38 in December. I am married to Brock, who is a tattoo artist here in Seneca up at Heart of Time Tattoo. That's right next to Huddle House on 123. He's amazing. I had 7 tattoos when I met him, and now I have 41 and counting. So I will probably continue to get tattooed by him until I run out of skin space. So if you hate tattoos and you hate people with tattoos and you're real judgy like that, you probably don't want to come in my shop because I'm covered in them. Got a bunch of piercings too, just to let you know. Do not be alarmed. We've got 3 kids. Our eldest, Corey, lives in Iowa. He is 21 now. He just turned 21 this month. I can't believe it. And then we have Isaiah, who is 13, and Rose, who is 10, and we homeschool them. And when I opened this shop, I did so with the expectation that I would continue to homeschool them. So if you come into the shop, chances are my kids are there and you'll get to meet them. Sometimes they're not. When they're not, they are either with their Nana or with one of our many homeschool family friends. We have a huge network of homeschoolers around here, a whole lot of different people that we hang out with, and they come up to the shop sometimes. They'll come get the kids and then drop them back off, you know, so that they can go to things they don't have to miss out. So yeah, in my shop there are children, always, most of the time anyway. But I want to let you know a little bit about why I opened this shop also. You know, I started out crocheting when Rose was born because we cloth diapered her, and I wanted to get some of the cute little woolies that you see for cloth diapering, you know, the little pants and skirts and things like that. But wow, we were a one-income family. You know, Brock worked at the time and I didn't. And even like the pre-loved woolies that kids had grown out of, God, they were still like 50 and 60 bucks, and I just like, yeah, no, there was no way. So I thought maybe I would learn to crochet. Like, hey, that could be fun, you know. I'll learn how to do that. And oh, there's such pretty yarns, you know. So then I had to learn all about wool, and I learned the difference between regular wool and superwash wool. You don't use superwash wool for woolies because it won't hold the lanolin, and if it won't hold the lanolin, then it's not water resistant like you want woolies to be, because that's kind of the point of putting woolies on over a cloth diaper, because, you know, they stop leaks from happening. So, you know, and then from there, somebody mentioned something about alpaca, like they had a yarn with alpaca in it and didn't know if it would work. I was like, what is alpaca? Like, I had no idea what that even was. I had never even heard of an alpaca. So, you know, this was back in like 2000. Well, she was born in 2010, so I guess that's when I first started learning about things. And then I opened my doors on 2011. It was February 2011. Because, you know, I did learn how to crochet, and I started making things, and I would post them on Facebook because I was excited. You know, I wasn't trying to sell anything. I was just like, oh, look what I did. It's so cute. And like, and then everybody was like, ooh, make some for my baby. Oh, do you do hats? Do you do blankets? And I was like, huh, you know, maybe I could do a hat. That would be kind of cool. And, you know, before I knew it, I mean, I needed a Facebook page because I had so many people asking for commission work, and I was happy to do it. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I was there with the kids, and I needed something to do. So, yeah, commission work. That was great. You know, then I learned how to knit, and I learned how to spin, and, you know, I learned all of this stuff about fibers, and I started testing for wheat crochet. I started writing patterns. Interweave crochet wanted some of my patterns. Wheat crochet wanted some of my patterns. I even wrote a pattern for Expression Fiber Arts that has not been published yet because they're having some difficulties with their yarn supplier at the moment. So we're waiting on that, but eventually, you know, that'll be up. But it was just kind of like this snowball. Like, I did not set out to start a business. I just set out to like learn a hobby and have some fun. But, you know, I decided a few years in that opening a yarn shop would be like, man, that would just be like the greatest, right? That would be like, you know, the perfect end result of everything. If I could do all of this stuff and lead it all up into finally opening a yarn shop, how much fun would that be? So I opened a yarn shop. I am not presumptuous. I will never in a million years try to convince you or myself or anybody else that I know all there is to know about things. I don't. People still teach me stuff all the time. I'm still learning things all the time. I'm still finding out that I was wrong about things all the time. So I mostly crochet because crochet was my first love, and I find crochet to be a lot faster and a lot easier on my wrists than knitting. Although I do love to knit also. I'm actually knitting a pair of socks at the shop now. You know, so whenever you walk into the shop, it may seem like it is crochet oriented. It is. It is. Most of the patterns that I write are crochet patterns, and so I'll print them and I'll put them up for sale. I don't have a thing in the world against knitting. Knitting is awesome. Knitters are awesome, and y'all are absolutely welcome, and I love for anybody to come to my shop. I do sell needles. I sell interchangeables. I sell DPNs. I sell needle cases. I you know, bags, chart keepers, yarn bowls, you know, you name it. And then yarn, of course. You know, some people, I guess, maybe think that some yarns are crochet specific or knit specific. Y'all, they're not. Yarn is yarn, okay? You can buy a huge cone of weaving yarn and wind it into a ball and crochet with it, okay? There is like nobody policing that. So while my shop does seem to be centered more around crochet than it is knitting, it is not a crochet shop, okay? It's a yarn shop. We've got craft kits, we've got bags, we've got scissors and tools and books, and I've got Interweave magazines coming in soon. It's not just for crocheters, but I will tell you something, and I bet that a lot of crocheters will agree with me when I say this. Crocheters specifically sometimes have a hard time walking into any yarn shop and being greeted with, oh, hi, welcome, come on in, come and look at this yarn and this knitted sample and all of these knitted swatches, and what do you want to knit today? And then when we say, oh no, I'm a crocheter, yeah, I'm just looking, you know, and oh, you crochet, okay, do you only crochet? You know, we get that kind of thing a lot, and I don't think that knitters are accustomed to that, because most yarn shops are geared towards knitters. Not that they're leaving crochet out, but it's just crochet is an afterthought. Oftentimes crochet is an afterthought in an LYS. Not always, but most of the time. So this time for Rose and Roses Yarn and Fiber, sorry y'all, I'm going over train tracks, am I shaking? For Rose and Roses Yarn and Fiber, no, crochet is not an afterthought, okay? Knitting is not an afterthought either. Knitting is fine, but we actually gear a little more towards crochet patterns and, you know, things like that. So finally, crocheters, rejoice. You can walk into this yarn shop and not find all of the samples knitted and all of the swatches knitted and an enormous row or wall of knitting tools with a little nook for crochet hooks. No, not in my shop, okay? That's not happening. We also do not have a little nook for needles. I mean, we have a whole great big space on the pegboard for needles and a whole great big space on the pegboard for hooks, okay? Like I said, we do both, but finally crocheters don't have to feel like they're gonna have to search and search and search for what they want, and that maybe the knitting staff isn't really going to be able to help them because they're not really going to know what they're talking about. Okay, this is like, it's important for me, for us to finally have like a haven, okay? So, and it's all about community. Please come in, whether you knit, crochet, weave, dye, spin, doesn't matter to me. Even if you're not into any of this stuff, but you have a loved one that is, and you're looking for a gift, come into my shop, all right? Come check us out. We've got comfortable seating. We've got free coffee all day long. If you come in, you get yourself a cup of coffee, okay? I don't charge y'all for that. The winding station is free to use. You can bring your yarn from home, your hanks of yarn from home, and come wind them on my winding station. I'll even teach you how to use it if you don't already know. All right, so that was just what I wanted to do today. I wanted to give y'all a little bit of an overview of who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And if you have not been into my shop yet, I would love for you to come into my shop. I'm a one-woman show. I will be here if I'm open. Okay, if the shop is open and you walk in the door, I will be here. I will greet you. I will serve you. That's what I do. So, I'm Sadie, and it was nice to meet you. And I'm here, and I'm going to stop slacking off in the car, and I'm going to go inside and start getting the shop open, all right? Y'all have a wonderful morning, and I hope to see you sometime this week. Bye.